welcome to Disney and Beyond, your one-stop shop for all things Disney and pop culture. This video is coming out a day later than usual. Usually news videos will be on Tuesday, but they're going to be moving to a Wednesday from now on, so look out for any pop culture or Disney news videos on Wednesdays and not Tuesdays. But it's been a while since I've done one of these videos for various reasons, which means we've got a lot to talk about. So apologies if this turns out to be a rather long video. But without much further ado, let's take a look at the news. Okay, so like I said, it's been a while since I've done a news video for Disney, so there is a lot of news to cover. As usual, I'm going to break it down. First off, we cover the Disney parks news around the world, mainly focusing on Disneyland Paris, as that's kind of my area. And then I'll move on to any other news happening in the Disney company at the moment. But we're beginning with Disneyland Paris. Obviously, the big talk at the moment is Halloween. Halloween is well underway at Disneyland Paris and at the other Disney parks. Disneyland Paris began their Halloween festivities on the 1st of October, and it runs through till November, the first weekend in November, I do believe. So much going on. You've got most of it focused in Frontierland. But there are some other things going on around the park. All of the decorations, which this year, the theming of Halloween, the Halloween festival is themed around the Day of the Dead, which is the Mexican holiday. I'm not sure if this is to tie in with the new Coco film that's coming out, which is very much to do with the Day of the Dead. Yeah, it looks great. It looks fantastic. I can't wait. I'm going in a couple of weeks' time, so I will get as many pictures as possible and get as much video as I can while I'm there to share with you guys. But I've got a list here of the different character meet and greets. Character meet and greets are a big part of the Halloween festival because it's a good opportunity to check out some characters in different costumes or characters that don't come out very often. And we've got a lot of those this year. First off, we've got the Donald Duck in a new Maleficent costume. Disneyland Paris and Shanghai Disney are the only places where you get a chance to meet Donald in his Maleficent costume. So if characters are your thing, definitely check that out because it's a rare costume, it's a rare opportunity to do it if you're in the parks over the next month or so. You can also meet Stitch in his Elvis costume by Casey's Corner. He's there, he's going to be there for the entire festival. Again, good opportunity if you've met Stitch before and you want some different pictures with Stitch or a different kind of interaction or experience, then Halloween is a good chance to do that. You've got the Evil Queen. She is by the Old Mill in Fantasyland. This is one of the best character experiences during Halloween. She again will be there the entire time, and it's a very good opportunity to meet her because again it's one of the rarer characters that you don't see very often. In Adventureland, you've got Dr. Facilier. He is there. Again, another rare character. Seems this year they'll bring out a lot of the villains you don't often see. The Evil Queen actually has a new costume as well. So again, if you've got pictures with her before, good opportunity to meet her again. Maleficent is in her usual position with all the thorn bushes and the vines and things around the back of Sleeping Beauty's castle. So that's always a good one to get because the theming of that area is very, very good. You've got the art of animation. Moana has now gone, but it is now Mickey Mouse meet and greet. And we'll get to some more about the art of animation in a little while. Yeah, as I say, there's so much going on. There's also the Mickey's Halloween Tricycle Gang Parade, which is Mickey Mouse with all his friends and the Disney villains. So there's a new parade offering. You know, you've done all the characters and you want more Halloween. The Tricycle Gang Parade is another offering that is taking place right now. There's also some food, some special desserts at the Market House Deli on Main Street. We've got cupcakes, the usual kind of treats that you get in Disneyland, but themed to Halloween. You've got the Lucky Nugget Saloon, which has got a Halloween menu, which the Lucky Nugget Saloon, if you weren't aware, also has a puppy show that runs during the day. It's Jessie, Woody, and Stinky Pete. So that's kind of cool. You can check out the new Halloween food and hopefully catch a show at the same time. Always quite a busy restaurant because the show isn't scheduled, so it just runs as and when. But it's quite a fun restaurant to go and sit in if you catch the show. Yeah, there's so much. Disney Village will also have some Halloween offerings, but that's not until the end of the month. But the decorations are currently there in the Disney Village. Yeah, so if you're in Disneyland Paris within the next month, enjoy the Halloween festivities. As I say, I will be there in November, the last weekend of Halloween, actually. I'm there for, so I will get as many pictures and as much video as I can for those that can't make it. But yeah, that currently is the news on Halloween in Disneyland Paris. Right, so another new thing in Disneyland Paris is the extra magic time. Now, extra magic time used to be extra magic hours, and that was only for the Disneyland park. It allowed guests 2 hours extra entry if you were staying in one of the Disneyland hotels, or if you were an annual pass holder. Basically, you get an extra 2 hours in the park with a few of the rides open and a few of the restaurants and shops open. However, it is no longer 2 hours, it's only 1 hour, but it is both parks. So anybody staying at a Disney resort or anybody with an annual pass can now go to the Walt Disney Studio Park and the Disneyland Park for an extra hour in the morning. It's the first time that the Walt Disney Studio Park has had extra magic hours, which is now known as extra magic time. But currently there are only 3 attractions open. That's Ratatouille, Crush's Coaster, and Rock and Roller Coaster. Most people seem to be heading towards Ratatouille and Crush's Coaster, because they are very popular rides in the Walt Disney Studio Park. They had some quite long wait times for the queues, whereas Rock and Roller Coaster was a 5-minute wait. So if you want to do the extra magic time, get there early, get to Ratatouille, get to Crush's Coaster, if they are the attractions that you want to experience first. There's also a couple of restaurants open for breakfast. On Calise is open, and Restaurant des Stars. Restaurant des Stars is the buffet restaurant. So both of those are now offering breakfast. So check those out if you're there and you're hungry and you want to get some food. Personally, when I go and I use the extra magic time, I'll be heading straight for Ratatouille because, as you all know, that is one of my favourite rides. And Crush's Coaster and Rock and Roller Coaster are my thing. So yeah, that is the new offering. Well, it's kind of a new offering. It's kind of not a new offering. It's a new offering for the Walt Disney Studio Park. Nothing has really changed in Disneyland Park except it's only an hour and not 2 anymore. So yeah, that's the extra magic time at Disneyland Paris. Sticking with the Walt Disney Studio Park, we've got a few changes to talk about. The Jack Sparrow meet and greet near Cinemagique has gone. That went last week. Not entirely sure why it's gone. I imagine they may be because Cinemagique, if you weren't aware, is going to be potentially turned into it is being turned into, everybody thinks it's that building, into the Marvel stunt show that is coming to Disneyland Paris. Next year, there's going to be a new Marvel stunt show, and it looks like Cinemagic is going to be the building that houses that. So whether they've moved it for that, to begin preparing for that, or whether they've moved it because there's going to be something Christmassy in there, I'm not sure. But the Jack Sparrow meet and greet has now gone. Also gone is the Star Wars entertainment on the stage by the Tower of Terror. That's been taken down probably for Christmas. The Christmas season will be starting very, very soon. You've got Halloween, and then pretty much straight after it goes straight into Christmas. So that's gone to prepare for the nighttime show that is coming at Christmas in the Walt Disney Studio Park. Also, sticking with Christmas, the Art Animation Gallery in the Art of Animation. Obviously, usually the Art of Animation has a character meet and greet, and usually the Animation Gallery, which is the small shop that is in that building, is themed to that character meet and greet. At the moment, as I mentioned earlier, that meet and greet is Mickey Mouse. So the shop has now been turned into a Mickey and Minnie Christmas themed shop. So if you don't get a chance to go to the Christmas shop in the Disneyland Park, then pop over to the Walt Disney Studio Park, because it does now have a Christmas shop, and it looks quite cool, and there are all the Christmas offerings that you can find in the other Christmas areas of the park. So that's also new in the Walt Disney Studio Park. So the next big thing that is coming to Disneyland Paris is next year, and I've mentioned it in videos before, and that is the Disney Fan Days events. There was a big bloggers event and meeting for everyone involved at Disneyland Paris, and where they talked about what Fan Days is going to be. They have released a press statement that I will read to you now. Specially imagined for Disney fans everywhere, Disney Fan Days is launching its first ever event at Disneyland Paris for fans for one weekend only. The Disney Fan Days inaugural party will take place during the first weekend in June 2018, featuring one-of-a-kind shows, rare and never seen before Disney character encounters, live entertainment, iconic attractions, tasty treats, exclusive merchandise, and the opportunity for fans to dress up and show their inner Disney to the world. It's an experience sure to excite all our guests and Disney fans. Imagine living a real-life Disney dream that's dazzling with delightful days, daring adventures, dancing and dressing up, all in an experience created to celebrate fans. This is a chance to catch a glimpse of Disney characters around every corner, some for the first time ever at Disneyland Paris. Embark on a wild adventure with the stars of DuckTales, experience an extraordinary nighttime spectacular inspired by a 1995 classic, A Goofy Movie, and so much more. It's set to be an unbelievable event for fans from all over the world. So that's the press release. There weren't many more details released other than that. That covers pretty much everything that was in the show that they put on. I was sold as soon as I read that DuckTales was going to be there, because DuckTales, I love DuckTales. It was one of my top Disney afternoon cartoons. I wish it was dark, but can't win all the time. But yeah, it sounds great. It sounds like it's going to be a really good event. It will be, sadly, a ticketed event. Prices and schedules are to be released down the line. Hopefully, they will give people enough time to plan ahead, because, as you know, I've mentioned before that Disneyland Paris isn't the best at getting out information in enough time for guests coming further afield to plan. Um, they have given plenty of notice of when the weekend will be. It's going to be the first weekend in June next year, so if this doesn't change, that would be fantastic for me because that will actually be my birthday. Um, but yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really good event, providing it's organised correctly, and that the character meet and greets are in areas that have been specifically set up. Otherwise, it could end up being a free for all. Years and years ago, I remember the characters used to walk around the park, and it was often hard to get to them and to get a good experience with them because they just got swamped by people. So if they're gonna do this and it's gonna work, I think much like the Star Wars soiree where they had Vader and Chewbacca in areas that were specifically set up for character encounters, um, I don't know whether it will work as well. Apparently, there's going to be a few of the attractions open as well, much like the soirees. Um, I enjoyed the Star Wars soiree, and this sounds awesome. So hopefully it will work and it will be well organised. The DuckTales parade sounds really good. A chance to see rare characters and characters never seen before is also really cool. I like the idea of the Goofy movie show. Disney seems to make it a lot of their afternoon block of cartoons at the moment. I think they realise that fans genuinely want that stuff. So, yeah, they're sort of capitalising on that. But, yeah, the fact that there's specific merchandise and food offerings and things like that, again, is really cool. I will hopefully be able to go to the fan days next year. As I say, it will be, if it sticks to the same date that they've set, then it will be my birthday, and I will go for my birthday, which would be really cool. So, yeah, that is the Disney Fan Days coming in June 2018. Now, the next story that I found interesting over the last couple of weeks is purely speculation and it is purely rumour. So take it with a pinch of salt. It may happen, it may not happen, but it is rumoured that the Tower of Terror in Disneyland Paris will be turned into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Now, for those of you that don't know, this year in Disneyland California, in the California Adventure Park, Tower of Terror was turned into the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Now, people weren't too keen on the idea of changing it at first, but it has been hugely successful. They've done a really good job. People absolutely love the queue experience. They love the ride, and it's been very, very popular. The building in Disneyland Paris, the Tower of Terror building, which is in the Walt Disney Studio Park, is the exact same building as the one in California. So the rumours are pretty firm. I would say there's sort of a 70 to 80% chance that this will happen. We know that Disneyland Paris is getting the Marvel Stunt Show. It already has a Spider-Man meet and greet opposite the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster, which is kind of around the corner from the Tower of Terror. The Marvel Stunt Show is going to be in Cinemagique, which is opposite the Tower of Terror. So all the Marvel things are in the same area. So it's a very, very strong possibility that the Tower of Terror in Disneyland Paris will be turned into Guardians of the Galaxy. Preliminary refurbishments are taking place in March of 2018, and then Tower of Terror will be closing for 6 months from September 2018 to March 2019. So something big is happening. I don't think they will do just a revamp or spruce it up, or it needs more than a lick of paint. People have been saying for a while now that Tower of Terror is looking a little bit run down, it's looking a little bit tired, and it needs a refurbishment. So I'd say in March they will do a basic clean up of the ride to keep it going until September. In September, it will go down for 6 months and be turned into the Guardians of the Galaxy. By that time, the Marvel Stunt Show will have started. We've also had some of the top Imagineers come over. The Imagineers that were involved in the Marvel Land in California have been in Disneyland Paris. The executives and even Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, was in Disneyland Paris recently. The Disney company recently took over full control of Disneyland Paris, so there are big things afoot. They're keeping very quiet on what those things are, but the Tower of Terror being turned into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, it does seem to be picking up momentum. I believe it's definitely going to happen. It's only a matter of time before it's announced officially. But I would like to see it. I don't have a problem. Tower of Terror, when I could transfer from my wheelchair to get onto a ride, was one of my favourites. But I'm not sad to see it go. I would like to see Guardians of the Galaxy ride. And Guardians of the Galaxy offerings. And, Tower of Terror, Twilight Zone is old, young people, they're not going to be interested in it. But Marvel might pull in more of a crowd. So, it's a possibility. I think it's a very strong possibility. And as I say, I think it's only a matter of time before it's officially announced. But look out for any rumours or any news articles surrounding the Tower of Terror turning into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout in Disneyland Paris. One final little snippet of information that I found regarding Disneyland Paris was in the Disneyland Park, and it's quite interesting. ED92 on Twitter posted a picture spotting a height test balloon behind the Chaparral Theatre in Frontierland. Now, height test balloons generally mean something large is going to be built in that area. They either have plans to build something, or they are testing whether they can design something and build something there. Again, this could tie into the fact that the CEOs and the Imagineers have been in the park recently. And the Disney company taking over full control of Disneyland Paris. Again, this is purely speculation, but for quite some time now, every now and again, a rumour surfaces that Disneyland Paris would be getting Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain is currently in Disney World, in Frontierland. The trouble with Splash Mountain is it's a water ride. Now, Florida has the weather for a water ride. They've got lots of water rides. It's hot all year round. Very rarely gets cold. Paris is a very different kettle of fish. There's always been problems, and they've always said they can't do water rides, or specifically Splash Mountain, because of the weather. It's too cold, the water would freeze. But the area that these height test balloons were seen in was the rumoured area for a potential Splash Mountain attraction in Disneyland Paris. Now, with regards to the water, It's a Small World has a partial part outside, and that runs all year round. That never freezes over. So if Disney have found a way to do Splash Mountain, this could be a sign that it's happening. It could also be a sign that it's going to be a restaurant building. They could be extending the Chaparral Theatre. They can be building a completely different attraction in that area. Nobody knows. But the fact that these hype balloons have gone up is quite exciting. What it means, don't know. Time will tell, and hopefully in the coming months, next year, whatever, we will get some more information. It could mean nothing. It could just be a general test. Might be for some trees. It could be anything. But it is quite exciting. I thought it was quite exciting anyway. Now that Disney have fully taken over Disneyland Paris, big things are going to happen. It's just going to take some time to find out what those things are. Hopefully, not too long. But if you haven't, check out ED92 because they are always on the wall. They get some great information out of Disneyland Paris. But yeah, they spotted height test balloons behind the Chaparral Theatre in Frontierland. Okay, so we have now fully covered all the interesting news stories coming out of Disneyland Paris. So we're going to move on to Walt Disney World. We've got 2 or 3 little bits of information. First up is the Millennium Falcon ride. We've got some new details. Obviously, the Millennium Falcon ride is going to be part of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It's going to be one of the top attractions in that area. For those of you that don't know, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is a new Star Wars land coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. But yeah, I've mentioned before with the Millennium Falcon ride that any decisions and actions that you take during your time on the ride will have consequences in the rest of the land. And this is to help create an individual narrative for each guest within Galaxy's Edge. Up until now, that was the only kind of information that we had. But lately, it's been leaked that the Millennium Falcon ride will potentially have 160 guests participating at one time. Now, that's a lot of guests in one go. It's going to be on a kind of a rotary system with different pods that can house up to 6 people in one pod. But the interesting part of this is that despite the fact there's going to be potentially 160 guests riding at one time, it's still going to be fully immersive. And by fully immersive, it means that you will not see any of the other guests other than those in your pod. So if you're in a pod with 6 people, those 6 people are the only guests you're going to see. So each pod will be the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and each guest will have a specific role to play in that cockpit. So you'll have probably a gunner, you'll have a pilot, you'll have a co-pilot, you'll possibly have a navigator, etc., etc. We don't know what those roles are going to be, but that's what I think the roles will be. The mission also isn't scripted. If you've ever been on Mission Space, it's a very similar idea, but the mission is scripted. So you do set things at set times, and what you do will continue the story of that attraction. Millennium Falcon attraction isn't going to have that. You can literally fly the Millennium Coaster however you wish. So if you want to smash it up, you can smash it up. If you want to go guns blazing, you can go guns blazing. It's going to be entirely up to you how you ride the Millennium Falcon and how you interact with the attraction. To me, this sounds amazing. I hope it will be wheelchair friendly. Simulators often aren't. I imagine it probably will be a transfer for wheelchair ride, but if I ever get to go again, hopefully it will be wheelchair friendly. Time will tell. But yeah, it sounds fantastic. It sounds very, very advanced and very, very cool. You know me, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so anything remotely Star Wars piques my interest immediately. But the fact that it's going to be fully immersive really goes to show how far the Imagineers are taking that idea with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it's very exciting. You know, this is a whole new direction for theme parks in general. You know, Universal did it with Harry Potter, with Diagon Alley, with the fully immersive. That the Galaxy's Edge, the Disney Imagineers are taking that a million steps further in the fact that you can create your own narrative and be a character in the Star Wars galaxy. It's awesome for me, and I'm very very excited for it. And can't wait to see it. Sadly, we've got another couple of years yet, but I'm sure as time goes by, we'll get more details. But yeah, so far that's what we have on the Millennium Falcon ride in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World. Another thing that I've mentioned in previous videos that came out of D23 was the Skyliner, the new Disney gondola system that is coming to Walt Disney World to transport guests to and from various parts of the resort. Disney currently has the buses and it has the monorail, but with the anniversary coming up, there's going to be a lot more guests attending, and so they need a new transport system to ferry those guests around. It would be too expensive to extend the monorail because the monorail currently only goes around the original part of Walt Disney World, which is Epcot and the big hotels around the lake. The buses are already packed, although they have a lot of buses. They don't carry that many people. They do carry a lot, and they're always packed. But they need a new cost-effective way of transporting guests around the resort. So they've gone for this gondola system, which is quite a cost-effective way of transporting people. They've finally released a few more details about what the Skyline is going to entail. It's going to go from Hollywood Studios, Epcot, Caribbean Beach Resort, and the Generation Gap Bridge, which is between the Pop Century and Art of Animation resorts. Each of the stations is going to be themed specifically to that area. So whatever the theme of the area it's in, the stations are going to match. So they're not just going to be generic stations. They're going to be themed as well. So that's quite cool. They're going to blend in. It's going to be like they're always there. It's a Swiss company making the gondola system called Duffelwire. I think I pronounced that right. It can hold up to 8 people at once, so that's quite a few people. I think they said that they will be able to transport 5,000 people per hour. Currently, I think the monorail does 10,000 people per hour. So the gondola, although half the number, it's half, but also half the cost of running a monorail, and certainly half the cost of building against extending the monorail. So yeah, and it's you know, they have 8 people and with onboard Wi-Fi. So if you get stuck up there, it will have onboard Wi-Fi. No other details have been released. These were just the details that leaked. I think the gondola system is a good idea. They used to have something similar in Magic Kingdom. Obviously, this is on a much bigger scale. It's going to cover quite a vast area. London, which isn't far from me, actually has a similar sort of system that goes from the XL Centre to the Olympic Park and somewhere else it goes. Can't remember where else it goes. But that works well. So hopefully this will work too. It'll be interesting. I don't know if I would be brave enough to get off in a gondola on a you know, one of those. But yeah, it's an interesting move from Disney to go for this. As I say, it's mainly because they need to increase their transport offerings to cover the increase in foot traffic from the anniversary year, which is only around the corner. 2021 or 2020, I do believe, is the anniversary of Walt Disney World, and it's a big anniversary. So, um, yeah, that is the information we have on the Skyliner. I will be intrigued to see what they're like when it is finally up and running. Finally, with the park news with Walt Disney World, in an interview with Inside the Magic, check those out on YouTube and Twitter, etc., because they cover some really cool stuff with regards to Disney. In the interview, it was announced that Epcot in Walt Disney World will be getting its first roller coaster. Now, during, I think it was D23 or around that time, we found out that the Universe of Energy was going, finally, because that ride is so old, so boring, I hate it. But um, that's going, and it was going to be turned into a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. And we've shown some concept art. Now, nobody was sure what the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction was going to be, but it has now been announced that it will be a launch coaster. Interesting. It's going to have an immersive queue area, which will be housed in the current Universe of Energy building, and then that building will be extended massively out the back. Now, it isn't just going to be a launch coaster, it's also going to be a flying coaster system. But the flying coaster system will be modified by Disney into something completely new. What that completely new will be, we're not sure. Rumours are that it may be a slightly more extreme version of the Snow White mine train with regards to the swinging cars, except they'll be up in the air and they'll be swinging, much like the ship. It sounds exciting. The concept art looks great. Epcot has never had a roller coaster, and modern theme parks seem to be more about the thrills than the dark rides. So Walt Disney World is certainly lacking in roller coasters. So that could be why they're doing this, but I think it's a good move. You know, I like Guardians of the Galaxy, I like the Marvel stuff. It's not something that I will go on, but you know, I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it. And apparently, the queue is going to be very, very immersive. Immersion in Disney seems to be the new thing. You know, fully immersing the guests in the experience. And as I say, Mission Breakout, the queue everybody loves. So it's been doing a similar sort of thing here. Apparently, it's going to be very similar to Avatar with lots of sort of pre-attraction show parts going on. So that's quite cool. Avatar, I think it will be Flight of Passage they're talking about. Is very immersive. So yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting experience. So that probably won't be happening though until probably at least 2021. I would imagine it'll be the big thing that opens during the anniversary year. It'll be their big attraction for that year. But it's certainly something to get excited about and something to check out when it does happen. And as soon as more official details have been released, I will bring them straight to you guys. Right, so that is all the park news. This video has already gone on for a long time, so I'm going to quickly cover some other news that is taking place within the sort of Disney umbrella, as this is a Disney News edition. Recently, it was announced by himself that long-term CEO Bob Iger, who's been at Disney for a long time, would finally be stepping down in mid-2019. He has already extended his contract twice with Disney, but he is finally stepping down and will definitely be stepping down by mid-2019. It's sad that he's going because he's done a lot. You know, he covered the acquisition of Disneyland Paris, he covered the acquisition of Marvel, he covered the acquisition of Lucasfilm. You know, he's extended Disney's reach massively. You know, he's been a very good CEO for Disney. But, fresh blood, fresh ideas. Rumours are that the replacement is going to come from within the Disney company. Originally, rumours were surfacing that his replacement would be someone outside the company, the CEO of Netflix, someone at Facebook, and someone else was in the mix. I can't remember who those people were, but it is apparently now going to come from within the Disney company. I think it's a better move to do it within the Disney company because they know the Disney brand. They would have worked their way up, and they know Disney by this point. Somewhere outside, yes, they might have different ideas, but they may not fit the Disney brand. So I think it's a good move to keep it within the Disney company. So yeah, sadly, Bob Iger is going to be stepping down in mid-2019. Now, one of my favourite properties of all time, and something that is very relevant this month, is Hocus Pocus. Now, it's been announced that Hocus Pocus is going to be getting a reboot. Looks like it's going to be a TV movie with a whole new cast, whole new director. Whether this will be a TV movie or for the rumoured Disney streaming service that's coming along, I'm not sure. No one knows. It's been announced it's a TV movie, but I would be surprised if it's not used for the streaming service. I'm not too sure about this. It's one of my favourite films of Disney. I grew up watching it. I don't think a new cast would work as well. Reboots, especially with new cast members and new directors, new script, doesn't generally work. It doesn't have that same impact. It might do for new generations, but for the older fans, it's not always a good thing. But time will tell. The fact that they are looking at it is quite exciting. So yeah, no release date yet, but hopefully it won't be too far away. And I will probably check it out when it comes out. No cast has been announced yet. No director has been announced yet. The only thing we know is that it is definitely happening. The last two bits of news we have are the fact that this Destination D for 2018 is going to be centered around Mickey in November. It's going to be running from November 16th to the 18th. And the reason it's going to be centered around Mickey Mouse is because November will be Mickey's 90th birthday. Now, Destination D is a very big event. Not sure where it's going to be, but that's happening next year. And as I say, it's November 16th to the 18th. So if you can get tickets for that, if you go to that, definitely check that out. And finally, our final piece of news is obviously the fact that the Last Jedi trailer released yesterday, and it looks amazing. I'm incredibly excited, and thought I'd share it with you guys here.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
need someone to show me my place in all this.
As I said, I am so excited for this film. It looks epic. It looks amazing. I'm really pleased with the direction it's going in. I've been excited for these new films since they announced they were doing a new trilogy. I cannot describe how excited I am. It officially comes out in America on the 15th of December. In the UK, it comes out on the 14th of December. There are some cinemas that are doing midnight screenings, so get your tickets as soon as possible, as I imagine that the screenings will be absolutely packed, and they are on sale now, tickets, so you can get them. It's a couple of months away, but with the Christmas holidays around that time, screenings are going to be very, very busy, and everyone is going to want to see The Last Jedi. I'm so excited, I can't wait to see it. For me, December can't come quick enough. But that isn't the only Star Wars news at the moment. If you're excited and interested in gaming, Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta has been running. It got extended and officially ends today. I've played it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. It's such a big topic that I won't talk about it here. I'm going to do a separate video, so look out for that. But as I say, it looks fantastic. It plays well. I like the mechanics, and I do think it's a step up for the previous Battlefront title that came out a couple of years ago. But I will do a separate video on that. And that is finally it for the news for today. There was a lot to cover. This has been a very long video, but where I've been away and out of action for a little while, there was just a lot to cover. Some very exciting bits and pieces. Very excited for what's happening at Disneyland Paris. So excited for the Star Wars news. I cannot even begin to describe how excited I am. But yeah, that was it for today. Thank you for watching, if you stuck it out this far. If you have enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button, as it is very much appreciated, and certainly helps the channel to grow. Also, if you don't want to miss any other Disney and Beyond content, hit that subscribe button, as again, we love having you here. It's very much appreciated, and it really does help the channel to grow. Leave any comments below about what you think. What are you excited for? What do you think of the rumours in Disneyland Paris, if you're a Disneyland Paris fan? Are you excited for the Star Wars Last Jedi? I am, but it'll be great to hear what you guys think. So, that is it from us. Thank you again for watching, but until next time, to infinity and beyond.